In this video, we're going to create some queries. So the first query we're going to do, we'll use the wizard. Okay, so go to Create and go to Query Wizard, Simple Query Wizard. And in this query, we're going to use the events and the charities tables. So we'll start with the event, and we're going to need the event ID. We need the event name. Okay, next we need our charity name, so we'll go to charities. Then we still need a couple event things like the date and the start time. All right, then we're going to go ahead and go next, and then we're going to call this query September and October events. So September and October events. All right, now I'm going to Home, and I'm going to go to the Design view. Now, once I'm in the Design view, the point of this one was to have events that are between September and October. So we have to use a keyword called the between and the criteria. So you'll see I'm lined up right here with the criteria, and under date, I am going to put in between, and that's going to be 9/1/2010 and October 31st. So I get that whole month that way. Whoops, left my slash, put the slash in there. So October 31st, 2010. And then when I click out, you'll see it automatically puts little number signs in there. And then I can run it. And if I've typed everything in right, I get all the events that were in September and October, and that looks correct. Once you've done that, then go ahead and close it, save it, and you have your first query. Now, we're going to go ahead and go to our next query, okay? And the next query is going to be our number of events query. So I'll go ahead and go to Create. Now, you can use the Query Wizard, but in this case, you only have two columns, and one of them is calculated for the two tables. So I'm going to go ahead and just, I think, jump right in here to Query Design. Now, because I haven't picked any tables yet in the query design, I have to pick my tables, and I can look at the example figure and see that I need the charity name, so that tells me I need charity. And I'm also going to have to know the events to be able to count them. And so the events is going to come from the event table, so I need that one as well. All right, I have the two tables that I need, so I'm going to close it. Now, once I do that, I have to add the fields to the query. So, as I said, the first one is the name. So I'm going to double-click name, and it puts it in there. Now, the next one is a calculated field, okay? And I'm going to use the count. So how do I do that? You need to click into the field. I'm going to open it up a little wider so you can see better. And you're going to click into the field, and you're going to name the column number of events. Make sure to put a colon. That's real important because that's what tells Access that this is the column name. And then after that, it needs to know what column it's going to be using. So you're going to put after that colon, you're going to put the square bracket, and you're going to have the event ID, and it must be spelt just like what's in the table. So I'm going to do event ID and the closing bracket there. Actually, it's got a capital, so closing square bracket. Right now, I need the totals to be able to put those in there so I can count things. So I go up here and I'm going to click on totals, and you'll see that it knows it's in the events table. And now, instead of grouping by, though, I want to count them up. So I'm going to drop this down and go to count. Okay, and then I'm even going to put them in descending order. Once I've got that in there, I can check it by running it. And if I have everything in there right, then you can see that you have the correct query that way for counting up the number of events. So this would be number of events query. I'm going to close it. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to call it the number of events. All right. Now, the next one that I'm going to do here is called female charities. Okay, so with this one, I actually have 3 tables I can see by looking at it. You can see the data from the tables and see that it's going to need to come from 3 different ones. So I'm going to go up here to create. And again, you could do it either way. You can use the query wizard, or if you're starting to get kind of comfortable with designing them, you can do like I did on the last one and do the query design. It's really your choice how you do it. Okay, so, I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into the query design, and I'll put up the tables that I need. And I know I need the 3 tables. I need charities, and I'm looking at my events, and I'm also need to know the volunteer hours in this one. And then I can close it. Then it becomes a matter of adding the fields that I need. And the first one I know I need the charity name. Whoops, and I did it twice. So if that happens to you, then you can just select the column, hit delete on your keyboard, and it will go away. You don't have to start all over again. The next one that I'm going to do is contact person. So I'm going to click on that one. Then I need the phone. Okay, and the phone number is in charity, so I just have to go down and find that one. Okay, so I got phone. I need charity email, so that's my next one. And then the next one I'm going to do is another totals here. And this one, I'm actually doing an expression because I'm going to multiply the number of hours in this calculated field. So let's go ahead then. And first thing we're going to do here is we'll go ahead and click on our totals. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and type in the name of our column, which is money donated. It says money donated, actually. And then we need that colon, which is very important. And then we're going to be summing. So we're going to type in sum. And then we've got to put in our a parenthesis because we're going to be multiplying. So we're going to put in our parenthesis there. I'm going to open this up a little wider so you can see better. Okay. And then we've got to have the field that we're going to be summing and multiplying, which is the number of hours. So you can go sum, then you have your square bracket, and you need the number of hours and the square bracket, and then you're multiplying it times 5, and then the closing parenthesis. Now, this is actually what's called an expression. So if I go down here and click, I need to change it to expression. And then I can see if I've typed everything correctly. You can go up here and run it. And I have created the query, and I could go and look and make sure that my data looks right so that I know that way that my actual query has the correct things in it. Okay, so that would be the thing that I want to do. All right, so with that one, then we can go ahead in here as well. With this one, we also have one other thing that we want to do here. Okay, so that looks good. But the other thing that we're going to be doing is what? We need to make sure that we only have female charities. Okay, and as you can see right now, we have them all. So I'm going to go back, and under charity names, let me open that up a little wider. I'm going to use the like operator here, and it's going to be like women or girls to get the female charities. But I'm going to need to use the wild card. So if I go ahead and put the wild card, which is the asterisk, and then I'm going to put in woman, okay, and another asterisk. And then I'm going to put in the or operator, like, again, and this time asterisk, and I'm going to put in girl, asterisk. All right, now, once I have those in there, I can click out of it, and it's going to put the double quotes in there for me around woman and girl because they are literal. And then we'll see if we now are selecting our female charities once we run it. And that leaves us with the 2 female charities there. All right, so we're finished with that one. We can go ahead and save it. And we're going to call this one then is our female charities. Okay, and that is 3 of our queries. All right, now the last one that we have to do is for our report. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and create that one. Okay, and we're going to go ahead. Again, this one has 3 tables that we're going to be using. So we're going to create. And this one we'll just use the wizard. And again, either way, you can do them either way. And in this one, we need members, events, and volunteer hours. So we're going to start with members. And in the members, we need last name, first name. So last name, first name. Then we're going to need the event IDs. So we're going to go to events, and we'll use the event ID, and we'll go with the event name. And we're going to use the date. And then we need the number of hours. So we're going to go to that table, and we'll put in our number of hours. And then we have all of those, so we hit next, and then we can name this one. We're going to call it for our report. We'll just call it for report, right? All right. So we have for report, and we hit finish. And this is the query that we will use for our report.